Hello, everybody. Just going to be going through a written piece which is sent to me by a student that I'm tutoring, Year 5 student. I'm just going to be going through the feedback here of what I would say. So the task is to describe a scene that I had given to the student and yeah, to describe it in terms of the five senses. So let's see how we do. I can see the merchant selling weird items to strangers, feeling my heart thumping with frightness. So, I don't believe that frightness is a word, so we'll just use fright. Uh, feeling my heart thumping with fright. That's actually a pretty good description. I like that. That's good. Tasting the drops going into my mouth and raining. Might be a little bit better to just say tasting the raindrops going into my mouth. I think that would be fine. Um, yeah, so that just might sound a little bit more natural. Tasting the raindrops as they are falling. Tasting the raindrops in my mouth as they are falling. As they go into my mouth. Something like that is fine. Looking at his face, his is fine. We know that the merchant is a male, and that's who we were talking about before. Looking at his face, he was very sad because nobody, got to make sure we spell nobody correct, was buying his items, full stop, capital I. I could hear the screams of the people because some of the weird items were scary. It's good. It's good. Yeah, I actually think that's quite a good sentence. Good little sentence. That ends with scary. I could smell the delicious food that the people were eating, and I could see the food. Whilst it's good that you've mentioned both senses there, it'd probably be a little bit better for one, we got to spell delicious correctly. But also, let's add something more to it. So when it says I could see the food, that delicious food that the people were eating, that's great. That's mentioned something about the food. It's not just food, people were eating it and it was delicious. We've given a few details there to help the reader connect with the story, with the words. We're bringing this picture to life. When it's written there, I could see the food. That doesn't really tell us anything. It just says that the food was, visible. It exists. It wasn't too far away. But it doesn't say anything about what kind of food there was. Could have used. I could see the exotic food. Um, I was really impressed with the different types of food that were there. Something like that. Just something more than just the food. So more detail when it comes to seeing the food. I think that would have helped bring the story alive a little bit more in that section. I can touch people running into me because they are rushing to buy stuffs. It would be better to say I can feel people. You're not really reaching out and touch them, but you can feel them as they brush past you. And also, stuff. We just write stuff, whether it's one bit of stuff or lots of stuff. Yeah, stuff can be used as a plural, so we don't use stuffs. Not in this context. I can feel the merchant. I can feel the merchant has a happy face, and it's because everybody is buying the items. Which is interesting because just before it said looking at his face, he was very sad because nobody was buying his items. So yeah, that's obviously a little bit of a change, although things can change over time. Maybe you could have written something like, I can feel that the merchant looks happier. Looks happier as people are buying his stuff now. And now rushing to buy his stock. Stock is, I guess, a fancier way of saying items or his stuff. Okay. I can smell the fresh air and the wind, but I could also feel it. I like that sentence. Good sentence again. Has a good feel to it. Hearing a voice going into my ears. It was a person that says, I think because it's probably past tense, it might have been better if we said that said. Might have been a bit better. Don't buy his stuff. Some of his stuff could be dangerous and kill you. Very intense sentence. Could have an exclamation mark at the end. I guess it's up to you. But we need to remember, these are the words that you would have heard. I'm just going to give a little space there. These are the words that you would have heard. Don't buy his stuff. Some of his stuff could be dangerous and kill you. Okay, so they're the things that we would have heard. So if they're the words that we would have heard, we need to make sure that there's a couple of things. We need to have quotation marks at the start and at the end. We also need to always make sure that speech, direct speech, always starts with a capital letter. And the quotation marks are actually outside of the end of the sentence. So whether we had a full stop, a question mark, or exclamation mark to finish the sentence, the last quotation mark is on the outside of that. It frames the direct speech. And the direct speech starts from capital letter to some form of full stop. So full stop, exclamation mark, or question mark. Quotation marks go outside of that. But yeah, look, overall, I thought this was a good effort. You definitely mentioned taste, what you feel, not just as in what you feel through a little bit of intuition, like just general feeling, like, you know, when you've got a bad feeling about something, but also literally feeling, like touch, physical feelings. So yeah, the physical and the emotional feelings, that's great. Definitely described things that you could see, so that was really pleasing. Things that you could smell, taste the raindrops, things that you could hear the scream of people and somebody whispering to you afterwards. Look, I think overall this was a really good effort. Covered all bases with the different senses. Few little mistakes, few little things that we can improve upon, but this is a really good effort. Well done. I'll send through the next task. But yeah, I hope this was helpful for whomever might be reading this. Thank you so much for your time.